QuickBooks accounting system is like an impenetrable forest, a thick brambled forest where every leaf, every little flower is a digital piece of numeric information. And it provides insight to your small business. You've got to get into the forest, however, and that requires a clear path forward, which requires a pathfinder. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. This is NxBizSuccess, and I'm introducing you to a QuickBooks pathfinder today. Her name is Crystal Seabrandt. She's a CPA here in the Lincoln, Nebraska area. She works with HBE Becker Meyer Love. Welcome to NxBizSuccess.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're an expert on QuickBooks, and you try to encourage all your small business clients to utilize it, and you work with them. You're kind of a coach for QuickBooks.
Sure.
Tell us, just off the top of our head, what is the 4 reasons why somebody should even think about working with QuickBooks in their small business?
Sure. First reason is that it kind of stores all your data in one location.
So it's convenient.
Right. The second reason would be it allows you to do reconciliation so that you're sure that your data is complete. You're not missing a check here, a deposit there, or anything like that.
Okay, so reconciling my checkbook.
Right.
All right, well that's a time-consuming process. We do that a lot around my small business, so I understand how important that is.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Number 3.
Number 3 is that it allows you to print reports that are useful throughout your business life, whether you're going to the bank to get a loan or you're preparing your taxes at the end of the year.
Okay.
All that stuff is at the click of a mouse, so it's really easy to get to.
And you say easy, I guess that's the 4th reason
That
why.
is the 4th reason.
I noticed that was a good segue. Yes, the 4th reason is to use QuickBooks because everybody with a little bit of training, including these video podcasts, these training podcasts, can learn how to manipulate and work their way through this dense forest that is QuickBooks, right?
Right. As far as accounting systems goes, QuickBooks is very user-friendly. It has tutorials, a help menu.
Okay.
It's really great to use.
Okay, good. Well, let's pretend I'm at home and I'm a small business person and I keep my receipts and I use my bank statement. I go online and check my account and so on. What's the real deal? I mean, why do I have to sit around and worry about getting into a whole new accounting system called QuickBooks? What's the immediate benefit for me getting involved?
It makes you a better business manager.
Okay.
Puts all your information in one spot and then allows you to analyze trends and historical data so that you can cut costs and manage your business better.
Ooh, you just said 2 words that are pretty important, cutting costs.
Right.
And of course behind us we see the QuickBooks interface. So when you get the thing up and kind of installed in your CPU, this is what it looks like, right?
Right.
Right. And there are some icons there, symbols, as everybody's used to using that kind of a system. So we can cut costs and it's relatively easy just using this basic icon kind of an orientation.
Right. Everything's front and center. So.
Right. Now what about taxes? Taxes are the bane of all business people, especially small business people. They have difficulty anticipating them and planning and working them into the cash flow. What about that?
Sure, if you're keeping up to your data entry on a day-to-day basis, it really makes tax time pretty simple. Gives you all the reports that you need, ensures that you have all your data so that you're getting all those tax deductions that you can get, and just makes the process a lot less.
Of getting the whole thing pulled together.
Right.
Okay, so you can maybe get your taxes pulled together in a day or 2 instead of maybe a month or 2.
Right, and a lot of times you can just back up your QuickBooks file and take that into your accountant, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot less questions.
All right, so you can kind of download it onto a CD or whatever, a flash drive, and take it into your accountant, and they'll just extract all the meaningful information and fill out the taxes that way.
Right, exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
It is.
Well, listen, how much does it cost to get involved with QuickBooks? It sounds so powerful and helpful. I'm a little bit worried about the cost.
Okay, there's several versions of QuickBooks. The one we recommend is QuickBooks Pro.
Okay.
It's probably the most versatile, yet it's still a reasonable price, about $120.
Okay.
So.
$120.
Yeah.
All right. And there are variations. There are cheaper and more expensive variations.
Correct.
All right. And you said that the QuickBooks Pro is most important, especially if you have like payroll taxes you have to do, right?
Right.
Okay.
Payroll's an added function
All right.
that you just purchase an extra module, but yeah, QuickBooks Pro integrates with those modules.
All right. So it's affordable. It seems like it's packed with benefits and so on. Is it easy to learn QuickBooks? What does the average person invest in terms of time and energy trying to get up to speed and get all their stuff into it and so on?
There's a little bit of upfront training, basically why we're doing these webcasts.
Sure.
You can do a few hours of training up front, and then it's kind of a learn-as-you-go process. Practice makes perfect.
That's
so.
right. And somebody like you on the phone helps now and then, right?
Right, yeah. We provide QuickBooks training if you need it on an hour-to-hour basis.
Over at HBE Becker Meyer Love here in
Right.
Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, just had to get that in. Now, let me ask you this. You mentioned before getting it up and getting it going. Let's pretend that we've got the interface up on our PC right now, and we're looking at it, and it seems easy. We'll talk in depth about that as well, about how to navigate through this. What's the first thing we'll focus on? What's in the middle of the forest, so to speak, that is primary to utilizing QuickBooks correctly?
The most important thing is setting up your chart of accounts.
Okay.
And that's just categorizing the transactions into different levels. Your revenue, whether it's different types of services or different types of products.
Okay.
And your expenses by different categories as far as advertising, office supplies, insurance expense.
And the thing with chart of accounts that is interesting to me is that some of our expenses are just that. They're like fixed costs, rent, things like that. Then others are cost of goods, where we'll buy a component or raw materials that we need to create a product or service, right?
Right.
And they're also in the chart of accounts, right?
Right.
So it's like it's what's in and what's out, and it's all categorized. But you told me before you don't want it to be overly precise. You want to generalize somewhat, right?
No, it's important to get it set up right at first so that you're not adding a bunch of different accounts and you're keeping it simplified. You're really grouping things into their category.
And actually meaningfully grouping expenses and revenue types takes a little bit of thought, doesn't it?
It does. You really want to think about how you want it to look when you're done and not change it all the time.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned the reports. I'm fascinated because I like to look at the reports. And we'll talk, we actually have a podcast about the reports down the road, don't we?
We do, yeah.
But one thing is that all this information can be downloaded to an Excel spreadsheet, right?
It can. That's one of the great functions of QuickBooks is you can download to Excel and then you can manipulate the data or change it however you want or give it to other people.
All right, great. Well, Crystal C. Brandt with HBE Becker Meyer Love in Lincoln, Nebraska. This has been enlightening for me. All of a sudden, I'm enthused again. I want to get back into QuickBooks and utilize it more intelligently and extract more insight from it. It's just not a matter of putting in the checkbook and so on. These reports can really indicate trends, can't they?
Right, yeah. They can really let you hone in on where your business is doing well versus what costs you need to cut and so forth.
Yeah, cutting costs is critical. I think we begin this video podcast and we end this video podcast with that particular focus. Handle the taxes correctly, cut costs. It's absolutely critical, and QuickBooks gets it done for you in a simple and a pretty streamlined way. You can always get the reports, you know what the trends are over time, and it can really help you make important and intelligent business decisions. Thanks for tuning into this particular video podcast. We have several more. Don't miss them all with Crystal C. Brandt from HBE in Lincoln. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. Thanks for joining us on NxBizSuccess. Keep on going and keep on growing.